Hello everyone, welcome to another portfolio review. Today I'll be doing a portfolio review of pieces that I've been working on between, I would say, around November 2021 until maybe April 2022 now. So let's look at some of these original pieces, and if you're interested, please consider messaging me on Instagram or check out my Shopify store to support my artist journey. Whether it's original and prints, your support will be greatly appreciated. So let's go on with this portfolio review. For this particular portfolio review, I will be focusing on specifically on my original pieces, not necessarily anything specific for fan art like Studio Ghibli that I usually do. I will be doing individual videos of each of these pieces to show you the full process and our time lapse in separate videos. So this one is inspired by a piece that I saw online on Instagram when I was browsing about this cow that got shampooed and washed, and it was so fluffy and cute. I decided to do a piece of it. I kind of broke outside my box and decided to use colors that I normally wouldn't use, like random pops of neon color, and I just really love how it turned out. It's a little bit of anime and surreal feel. So what do you guys think? It's okay, right? I don't know if I'll stick with the style, but it's nice to see. This one is called kind of Dreaming in Daytime. I guess it's a daydreamer, I guess. I wanted something very dreamy, so I decided to use some lilacs and then also some light pinks. I really enjoy the process of adding in the layers of the grass on the ground and the flowers that surround her. It feels very restful when you're looking at it, and I feel a sense of calm. And that's what I hope you will get from this piece when you're looking at it as well. Well, the next one I'm going to show you is actually based on a piece that I did back in 2019. It is based on the quote that I would not change you for the world, but I would change the world for you. And it's based on something, it's inspired, a message I want to give to my children. And I'm doing a redo of this piece in 2022. I just have the giant globe and earth with this girl resting on it. It's a little different interpretation compared to the piece I did previously in 2019, which I still really love. But I just feel like going back to this message of how I want to change the world to a better place for my children. This next one is inspired by the theme of embracing your inner demons. So there's this little girl sitting with her inner demon, and we all have these voices in our head that tell us we're not good enough, and I want this particular piece to speak to the idea that there is a place, there is a time for us to sit down and just be calm and present with that uncertainty, and that is okay. So this piece is of a forest with this creek that's running through the middle of the piece, and the little girl sitting with her inner demon and just being still in this space. I think I might do a whole series on this piece. I haven't decided on the name for the characters. It might be called Ollie and Me, or Ollie might be the name of the inner demon or inner beast. I haven't really decided yet. I would love to hear from you guys if you have suggestions for other names for the characters, but I think I might do a whole series on this at some point. The next piece is also very greenery related. I want to do a piece inspired by Secret Highway with lots of different types of plants that are sprawling through the piece. And I also want to do it on a spirit bear, which is an endangered species within kind of British Columbia where I live. And so I decided to do a baby spirit bear that's doing its own thing, just hanging out in a hideaway with some butterflies in the middle of the forest. So here's the piece. You can see it's similar in that there's still the green shade theme, but I think it's so beautiful. On another note, there is another character that I've been doing over the years that I love so much, and if you've been following my channel or following my artwork, you know I have a special place in my heart for pandas. That's right, I love pandas. It's one of the first pieces that I've ever sold when I first started creating my own artwork, so it's something that I always go back to and feel comfortable with from time to time. And so I decided to do a panda piece. So pandas are just something that's very comfortable for me. I decided to do with these odd colors. Again, you're seeing a theme of me breaking outside my box and trying different color schemes that I normally wouldn't. This piece I've done with gouache and also oil pencils. You can do a little bit of shading. You can see of mixed media on top of the gouache. It came out quite well. I really like how the textures came out. This next one is called the Nest. It's more of a call out to my recent, I guess, entry into the motherhood experience, and I want to create this sense of calm, security, and safe. Let my child feel safe. I will create this nest to protect you, and that's what this piece calls out to. The next one is also an original piece, and it's called It's Okay Not to Be Okay. You can see this girl or guy. I haven't really decided gender, if there is a gender or not, but you can see that they're kind of happy and sad at the same time, and I want there to be a space for that type of feeling, and letting my children know that it is okay not to be feeling 100% yourself all the time, because I don't think anyone is always 100% themselves. The next piece, I wanted to be more of a surreal, a calm piece as well. I wanted to be a forest theme, and I want it to be more of an aqua color. And it's inspired by the idea, if a panda plays a piano in the forest, can anyone hear it if there's no one around to listen? So here's the panda hanging out in the forest with two little birds hanging out on top of him and on top of the piano, and he's just playing. Can you imagine what kind of tune this piano player is playing in the forest? And you can see rays of light shining through in between the trees and the leaves, and it just looks so, I don't know how to describe it. I want to say it's delightful, it's graceful, it's something different. Like, I want the audience to kind of look at this piece and think about, what kind of music do you hear in the air? Is it light notes? Is it a whole orchestra of music? Is it a symphony of delights? What kind of story do you think this panda is trying to tell with its music? And that's what I want to convey in my piece. I want them to have a story piece that can engage the audience individually, as each person approach it and see it differently. This next one is inspired by the idea of seizing the day and catching these falling stars. I feel like there are so many opportunities in a day to capture, and it is up to us to seize that. And that's what this piece is about. There's all these falling stars coming across, and I love painting clouds. You know, if you've been following my channel, that I love painting clouds, and this one was so much fun to paint. Look at these glorious colors of blues and greens and yellows, and you can just feel the clouds are ripping through with all the stars that are falling from the sky, and this girl's just trying her best to seize the day, catch that falling star with her net that she's holding on this rickety ladder. I just feel like feels like such a dreamy piece. What do you think? If you guys like the content on this channel, I do want to add in, please consider subscribing. It really does help a lot. So on with the portfolio review. This one is about catching butterflies, and there's all these butterflies that are flying in the air. Like I mentioned, I love painting clouds. If you want to hear more background about this piece, please check out the individual art time lapse of this one that was showing up on YouTube, and it tells a story about why I have the whole theme about catching butterflies. Looking closely, you can see the different shades of blades of grass that I was working on. I really love the gradient coming down. It just feels very dreamy, doesn't it? Like soft clouds. I can see this being in a nursery and just be a great conversation piece. What do you think about the idea about catching butterflies, about these butterflies flying through the air, and what kind of story do you think it's trying to tell? What do you think this girl's doing? I think that's the type of thing that I want my paintings to kind of intrigue people to consider. This one is about giving a hug to someone. Sometimes a hug is all you need, not necessarily any specific words. you follow our time lapse for this piece, I talk about my struggle with not knowing where I'm trying to go with these pieces. Sometimes I'm just painting raw, very raw emotions, and this is what came out. I think it's something a little bit different, but definitely is a lot harder for me when things are not structured with a clear plan. This one is inspired by my baby girl who's starting to walk, and it's about a quote that I read about this child asking mommy, what if I fall? And I want to say to her, baby, what if you fly? So as long as you try, you never know the possibilities. You don't know that at this point maybe you're like the most amazing person ever, and people have just not discovered it yet. So the full story for this piece, again, check out the separate YouTube video on this art time lapse related to this piece. I do love these warm, soft colors. You can see that a lot of my work is currently influenced from my experience through motherhood, as I've been on maternity leave for the last 2 years with my 2 children. And I really like the changes that I'm seeing in some of my artwork. This one is inspired by the idea of keep your head in the clouds. I want my children to never stop dreaming, never stop exploring and using that creativity. And that's what this piece is about. Of course, you don't know is that this girl also have her feet on the ground and she's keeping herself grounded as well. But this is part of a whole series that I have been doing on keeping your head in the clouds and keep dreaming. Sometimes when you become an adult, you kind of outgrow being a dreamer and become quite much more like a realist. So this is an introduction to some of the pieces that I've been working on since around December 2021 until April 2022 now. I hope you enjoy this art portfolio review. I really enjoy showing you and talking through it. If you like more of these videos, please consider giving a like and subscribing to my channel. With that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care and stay creative. I'll see you in the next video. Take care now.